Welcome back to the Filipino FM channel, your home for Filipino Football Manager content. Today, we're coming back with another Football Manager experiment. I've made 3 players in the game, one with perfect technical attributes, one with perfect mental attributes, and one with perfect physical attributes. However, all of the other attributes are 1. So we're going to see whether technical, mental, or physical is the most OP in the game. So here is our technical attributes player. And as you can see, he has perfect technical attributes across the board, 20s for corners, crossing, dribbling, all the way down to technique. However, all of those mental attributes are 1, and all of those physical attributes are also 1. And here is our perfect mental attributes player. Similarly, he has all 20s for his mental attributes from regression down to work rate, but those technical attributes are all 1 and those physical attributes are all 1s. And finally, we have our physical attributes player. So he has 20s from acceleration down to strength, but aggression, anticipation, etc. So all those mentals and then all those technicals are 1s as well. And I am going to note, I have made these players otherwise identical. So other than their different attributes, they are all identical. They're all playing for the same team, Maharlika Manila. They're all on the same contract, so 210 pounds per week for 3 years. They're all the same age with the same birthday. And if we look at their hidden attributes, all of these hidden attributes are the same. So reputation is the same, home reputation, world reputation, and all of their hidden attributes, like hidden mental attributes. I essentially gave them perfect hidden mental attributes because I didn't want that to get in the way of what we're doing. So they have perfect professionalism, controversy is 1, important matches is 20. I've also made them not injury prone, so they shouldn't get any injuries, hopefully, throughout the game. But we'll see how that plays out. I'll talk about how that might affect in a little bit. They're the same height, they're the same weight, they're all from the same country, and they all play the same position. So they all play striker. I don't know if clubs will have them relearn different positions, but to start off the game, they all play striker as well. But I kind of want to see how they're going to perform in game. So we'll look at their total appearances, goals, assists, and average ratings. And over the course of 10 seasons, we're going to see who performs better. But before we get into things, I do want to show you guys a couple of interesting observations that I had while making each of these players, and some thoughts that I have for how they might turn out. So first, let's look at the current ability for each player. So here's our technical attribute player. And if we start editing, his current ability is 51. And what we're going to see is that the current abilities, I just made their current abilities the same as their recommended current abilities. And the recommended current abilities is based on their attribute totals. So it's interesting because our technical attributes player has a current ability of 51, but our mental ability player only has a current ability of 29. So just having 20s for mentals has a significantly lower current ability in the game. And finally, our 20s in all physical attributes player, he has a current ability of 65, which is much higher than the other 2 players. So just going on these observations of current ability, I would guess that the physical attributes player is probably going to do the best out of the 3, simply because so far he has the highest current ability, and this suggests that the game sees those physical attributes as being the most important and affecting current ability the most. But I do want to talk about some other things of just what I think might happen in the game. So the technical attributes player is interesting, and I think that he could actually score quite a lot of goals as a striker. I don't think that he will affect the play that much because he has really terrible physical and mental attributes. And I do think not having good physical attributes will hurt him because I think Zealand showed that strength is the most OP attribute in the game. Go watch his videos. If you've never seen Zealand videos, they're fantastic. I highly recommend watching them. But he has pretty much like pace, strength, and jumping reach are all OP attributes that work well within the match engine. Our technical attributes player doesn't have those, so I think that might make him perform poorly. However, So I think we'll have low average ratings. However, I do think we'll still see a lot of goals and assists from our technical attributes players simply because corners is 20, free kick taking is 20, and penalty taking is 20. So in theory, our 20 technical attribute players should be taking all the corners, free kicks, and penalties, which should still see them get a lot of opportunities for goals and assists over our 10 years save. On the flip side, I think our physical attributes will have the highest individual ratings in game, and I do think they'll probably get the second most goals and assists. They have terrible finishing, terrible composure, terrible off the ball, but that ability to create chances just with pace, strength, and jumping reach, I think will be really important for the physical attribute player in game. And I think they'll do the best in the match engine. So because of those OP physicals, I think we'll see the highest average ratings, but I still think the technical attribute player just from those corners, free kicks, and penalty taking will probably get more goals and assists, but I think our physical attributes will have the higher average rating. To pin it down to kind of one sentence, I think the physical attributes will be the best performing player within the game. However, I think the technical attributes player will have the best career statistics. And finally, I think the mental attributes player is just going to be the worst in the game. I don't see them doing very well. They don't have any physical or technical attributes. They work hard. That's about it. So I think they'll be probably the worst player in game. I don't think they'll score many goals, get many assists. And the fact that they have the lowest current ability, I think shows that. So I have all three players playing for Maharlika Manila FC in the Philippines Football League. And the reason I've decided to put them in the Philippines Football League as opposed to, say, the English Premier League, other than this being the Filipino FM channel, they're also like the current abilities of the players in the Philippines Football League will be around the same current abilities that we just saw from each of our players. So I think this will be kind of at their level so we can actually see how well they would actually do as opposed to just getting blown out by Premier League teams every week. So we'll get a better indication of how they actually do, and I think we'll have the most power to see differences between these three players. So with that, I simulated this for 10 years. Let's go 5 years into the future and see how they're doing at the halfway point. I'll see you then. All right, welcome back. We are 5 years into the future. It looks our players have made moves away from Maharlika Manila to actually the top two teams in the Philippines Football League. So I'll be curious to see how they're getting along. That suggests they're doing pretty well. Based on this, we'll do it by transfer value. So let's start off with our physical attributes player and see how he is doing. But I forgot to mention earlier, I did freeze attributes for all the players, so they shouldn't change throughout the course of the save. So let's look at the career stats. And he has had a pretty good career. So our physical attributes player, really high average ratings. So over 5 years, averaging a 7.24, only has 3 assists, but 53 goals, including 16 in 21 games. All right, I would say our physical attributes player is doing really well. Let's see how the other two are doing. So here is our mental attributes player, and let's see how their career stats. And they're pretty average. I wouldn't say they've done so well. So 6.71 average rating. They did really poorly in the first 2 years. 8 goals, 6 assists, 94 appearances. They've just been okay. It's interesting though. I'm going to go back to the physical attributes player just to text this. So they've played 89 games. The mental attributes player has played 94 games. This actually surprises me a little bit because I thought having really no low natural fitness would actually prevent the players with the poor physicals from playing a lot. So that's actually kind of surprising to me. But let's see how the technical attributes player is doing. Again, here's our technical attributes player. 86 games. Not as many goals and assists as I was expecting, to be honest. Although only 9 games in the last season, but 12 goals, 10 assists. I was expecting more, just to be honest. I was expecting definitely more assists just from corners and free kicks and a few more goals from free kicks. But overall, the technical attributes player is kind of doing okay, averaging a 6.6 rating. So the physical attributes player after season 5 is just far and away ahead the best player of these three. Interestingly, the technical attributes player has more goals and assists, but they actually have lower average rating than the mental attributes player, which suggests the mental attributes might be contributing more to the overall game, but the technical attributes player is having better goals and assists, probably from free kicks and corners, even though I thought they would do a little bit better. So right now, physical attributes is definitely in the lead. And I would say the mental and technicals are pretty close. There's not a whole lot between them. So with that, let's go to the end of this simulation 10 years into the future and see how all three players did. Welcome back. We are on July 7th, 2032. We are 10 years into the save, and let's see how each of our players got along. So here is our perfect physical player again, just as a reminder, and looking at his career stats. Honestly, he did really well in 10 years, 7.7, 7.7, 7.57, really high average ratings, consistently above a 7.0. In the last few seasons, making loads of appearances, 199 appearances in 10 years, 107 goals, not a whole lot of assists, but a goal scoring machine up top. The physical attributes player played really well. I have to say, he actually did a little bit better than I thought he would do. I thought he would be the best player, but I didn't think he would do this well. So physical attributes clearly being hugely important in the game. Here is our mental attributes player. I did freeze his attributes, as you can see, but I think he did get injured at some point because that bravery is down to 18, suggesting that there was an injury. But let's see how he did over the course of the save. 168 appearances, so he did end up making less appearances overall. 14 goals, 9 assists, an average 6.76 rating. I mean, this is the definition of meh. He did okay. Just average rating was average, and 14 goals and 9 assists. Let's see if our technical attribute player did any better. So again, just as a reminder, here's our technical attribute player. Let's look at those career stats. 33 goals and 23 assists, averaging, again, a little bit lower of an average rating, but much better goals and assists than the mental attribute player. I am certain that those 20s for corners, free kicks, and penalties must have helped with those goals and assists, because even though he wasn't playing well, he got a lot more goals and assists than our mental attribute player. So overall, I think we conclude that the physical attribute player was far and away the best player in this save. He had the most goals and the highest average rating. I would say following him, the technical attributes player was probably next because he did get 33 goals and had the most assists of anyone in the save, which really does make me think that the best corners, free kicks, penalty taking, etc. definitely helped with those stats. Interestingly, the technical attributes player had the lowest average rating, but the technical and mental attributes player were pretty close in average rating, and the mental attributes player had really poor career statistics. So overall, if I had to rank them, it would be 1 physical attributes, 2 technical attributes, and 3 mental attributes. So that's all I've got for this video. Thank you for watching. I hope that you enjoyed it, and we'll be back with more content soon. Bye.